don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to help support this channel and this amazing community that you guys are all part of. Appreciate that. Later.
But guess what? On record, that's me. I have the strongest strike. I said, Francis, you want that title? Come join a breaking competition. Let's see you do a 1-inch punch and break through 7 slabs of concrete and not bust your hand. Then you can say you're the champ. But
yeah,
I've done that. I've done that 5 times. 5 times, 5 gold medals I've won in the greatest breaking tournament there is, in the world. The highest standard, the highest level of breaking is ISCA, which is an International Sports Karate Association, and the USBA/WBA, which is United States Breaking Association, World Breaking Association. Those are the 2 biggest ones. So people see this and they don't realize there's actually competitions for how hard you can strike. Just because some guy hit a machine and he has a bunch of fame because of it, not to discredit him, doesn't mean Joe Rogan. Look at Joe Rogan. You ever seen his kicks compared to professional UFC fighters? Joe Rogan blows those guys away. And he's this old dude.
And I think there's there's that YouTuber Sensei Seth.
Yes.
I think he made a video trying to see how much his kicks compared to Joe Rogan's. I didn't watch the whole video, so I don't know.
I know. I want to hit one of those machines so bad. As soon as I saw that, I looked it up online. I'm like, dang, bro. I think I want to say it's like $1,300+ for one. But if I got my stinking hands on one of those, oh my goodness, I would have a field day.
Yeah. So I don't know if in the video if he beat Joe's record or not. Like was his kick stronger than Joe's or close or whatever. But yeah, man. So those machines cost that much. What about just showing up to where do those machines like I don't know, they have them in like UFC gyms or whatever?
Man, some of them do. The only one I've ever seen measure punching power is those ones at the arcade. You know which ones I'm talking about? Where you press it.
You put a quarter. Goes down and you're like.
So true story. I took my wife and we were going to see a movie and they had one. It was like the Spider-Man one, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll try this. Dude, broke the machine. Hit it so hard it just turned off. It went all the way to like 999, just boop off. I was like, well, I guess I maxed out the machine. So those are kind of fun, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. There's striking force, there's penetration force of how fast you move. Are you hitting like a thump or are you hitting through your target? People don't realize professional breakers, those guys break their limbs in competition. Like you mess up on a break, you're going to break your arm. It's not a joke, it's like, but it's a niche sport. It's like arm wrestling, like arm wrestlers, are they not great athletes? No. But do a lot of people follow arm wrestling? No, not necessarily, but we don't do it because people follow it. We do it because we love it. So for me, power breaking is essentially strongman for martial artists. You know what I mean? There's all types of martial arts competitions. That's the one that develops your power. And for me, it was cool because I was 225, 230 when I was competing, maybe a little less. And heavyweight is 200 and above. So I had to hit harder than guys that were 270, 280 or more. And you're hitting a stationary stack of concrete that does not move. So power in fighting is different because there's timing, there's movement, there's head movement, all that stuff comes into play, whether or not you can land a clean shot, right? In power breaking, it's a stationary target. So if you have weight and you have technique, you automatically have an advantage. So I had to hit harder than guys that had 50 pounds on me. So that says a lot, because they have the advantage automatically.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now that we talk about that, that makes sense that it's kind of like the strongman competition for martial artists, right? Because what better way to prove who hits hard than to smash through shit?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Logically, it's how we're not going to punch somebody out because then, it's not the way we really demonstrate it properly, So let's just break shit. Now, have you ever seen any those Shaolin monks or those guys who do traditional martial arts come into those competitions and compete?
Yeah, so that's the thing about professional power breaking is it's all styles are welcome. You just have to have a black belt to enter the concrete competition because so there's wood, there's unspaced wood, and then there's concrete. Concrete is the highest. That's the only competition I've ever competed in is concrete. So you have to. So I'm not competing just against Taekwondo guys. I'm competing against karate guys, Taekwondo guys, other styles. I competed with guys from Canada, from Texas, from New York, California.
Any Chinese monks?
I didn't see any. I did not see any. But Shaolin Kung Fu, those guys have it really, because you notice how they do a lot of static movement where they're like holding those big jars.
Yeah.
Going back to like, remember I was talking about what the static, like when I hold partials, you've seen me, I pick up 700 pounds and I'll hold it there for 15 seconds, breathing, focusing. They're doing the same thing. Think about it. That holding, that's isometric holds. They're just doing it with, water in jars or what. It's the same exact concept though. And that's why those guys are so stinking strong and so stinking, when they hit, they're so conditioned, because they do the conditioning aspect. They also do the strength training aspect. They also do all of that. That all comes into play. They had it figured out before we had scientific names for it. And that's what made them seem, I don't know if you've seen any of the Thor movies, but Thor, he said something in the movie that stuck with me. He said, he's talking to his girlfriend or something in the movie. He said, what you call magic, we call science. And there's no truer statement. If you took a nuclear weapon and went back in time, could you imagine like where the armies all had just swords and shields? Imagine if you're like, watch this, bro. You drop a nuke and just waste a whole army of 1 million dudes. They'd call you God.
Oh yeah, instantaneously. Like you'd rule like everybody.
Everything. Nobody would touch you. You'd be like, I could send another one at any given moment. So that's all you'd have to do is just literally tell them. Or you brought something like an AK-47 against, that's magic. It's science, but we just don't understand it. Same with chi energy. It's not chi. It's called muscles and bone conditioning and training your ass off to punch through hard things. There's no chi. The real chi is real energy. I believe in kinetics. That's real energy. Kinetic energy. Objects in motion want to remain in motion. Mathematical understanding of leverages and all that other stuff.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And you said something really interesting early on, is that if you have a certain like magical powers or mystical martial arts or whatever,